To those who have taken the time to join us in reflecting on the events of 9/11, we are extremely thankful to have given the opportunity to honor the lives lost.
We are also excited to join our Texas family once again. We look forward to continuing our friendship throughout the school year.
Good morning, my name is Caitlin.
I'm Shekinah.
In the early hours of September 11, 2001, students and teachers across the United States had just settled into a new school year when the day's tragic events began to unfold. Now, 20 years have passed since the Americans heard those unbelievable reports that a plane, then another plane, had crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. Soon this was followed by a crash from a hijacked jet slamming into the Pentagon and another into the field in southwest Pennsylvania. The United States was under attack, killing nearly 3,000 Americans. Who would have thought that these tragic events would link two high schools over 1,500 miles apart in what has evolved into the Tale of Two Cities program? Prompted by curiosity, concern, and caring, students from Allen, Texas High School expressed a desire to converse with students in the Northeast within close proximity to New York City. Students felt a need to share their emotions, find out how the events were affecting daily life in the Northeast, and search for answers to the many questions they had. An Allen staff member contacted Linden High School, located less than 20 miles away from Ground Zero, and a unique video conference meeting was arranged.
1 year later, 20 students and faculty members from the Allen, Texas PALS program visited their new friends at Linden High School. Today, 20 years later, students from Allen, Texas and Linden High School have maintained their video conferencing relationship. Students use technologies like cell phones, text messaging, Instagram, Snapchat, and email to stay connected. Students get to experience firsthand the culture and climate of two very diverse schools, communities, and states. Since 9/11, the long-distance partnership has evolved to promote among students an understanding of global issues, has fostered multicultural diversity, promoted teamwork, provided an understanding of regional differences, and created friendships halfway across the United States. So today, we not only commemorate those lost on 9/11, but celebrate a special relationship between Allen High School and Linden High School.
Good morning, my name is Gerald. We light these two candles to remember and honor those who lost their lives in the Twin Towers.
Light these two candles to remember and honor those who lost their lives in the and changed their lives.
Good morning, my name is Claudia. As mentioned, we have always had full support of our administration, the Board of Education members, and many other staff. We would like to acknowledge everyone that is able to make it here today. Thank you to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Marnie Hazelton, Mrs. Horry, Mrs. Lemus, Ms. Lewis, and Ms. Cleary for joining us today. We would also like to give a special thank you to one of the founders of this program, Mr. Cataline. Now we will have remarks and statements from our Superintendent, Dr. Hazelton.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. I would like to extend a good morning and welcome to all of the students and faculty at Allen High School in Texas. I would especially like to thank the teachers, the founding teachers of this program, Jen Clements and J.D. Walker in Allen, Texas, as well as Linda Snap and Mr. Cataline here in Linden High School, as well as Nicole Campo, Ryan Devaney, and Sherry Pisano, along with Dave Bulldog, and all of our students. This is a very important project, A Tale of Two Cities. 20 years ago, I was a New York City teacher teaching 5th grade in Brooklyn, New York. My classroom was on the 3rd floor, and I had a spectacular view of the top of the Twin Towers. And every morning as I drove into work, going down Atlantic Avenue, getting off the Belt Parkway, for those of you that know Brooklyn, that would be the first thing that I would see off in the distance, the Twin Towers. So that morning, Tuesday morning, I remember it like it was yesterday, and the announcement went out over our PA system, and the principal just stated, the country is under attack. Now, we're all in our classrooms, and that is what we hear, and she proceeded to go on to tell us about the Twin Towers being attacked by planes and the Pentagon, and we were just bewildered until we looked outside of our third floor window, and we could see billowing black smoke just spiraling into the air. And as I paced back and forth, that's all I could do was pace back and forth in front of my students. And I remember my student, George Curtis. He was the tech-savvy student in the classroom. So I said, go onto the internet and follow this story. And as we just sat and periodically looked out the window, I was just stunned and paralyzed as regarding what we were seeing. And when the towers collapsed, we looked out the window again, and the initial black smoke had now turned to gray smoke. So it was very moving. And as I mentioned at the start of my speech, this is a very important day that must be remembered. This relationship is just as important, and I thank all of the students and the adults for keeping this memory and this project alive. And once again, thank you all. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. And thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Alan. It's nice to see everybody again. This is, of course, a program that is very near and dear to my heart. I had the opportunity on September 10th, since the 11th was a Saturday this year, to go and visit with many of the classrooms and talk to students. And I asked them, like, what does this mean to you? How do you remember 9/11? Is this something that is just part of history, or is it closer? And for most of our students, who honestly replied that it's history. It's something they read about. They don't remember the before. So they don't remember the before 9/11. They don't remember what it was like to go to the airport and not have to go through the kind of security we go through now. They don't remember being able to go to a sporting event or to a concert without this kind of security. They don't remember a time before terrorism was a real threat and a real fear. And that's sad. But there is something positive as well, because then on September 13th, when I addressed the students of Linden High School, we spoke of the day after. And while we have to remember 9/11, we also should choose to remember 9/12 and the spirit that came with that day. The spirit of the United States of America, when we were truly united as one people. Everywhere you went, flags were up. People were helping people. And there is no distinction based on race or color or ethnicity or religion. We were all Americans, and we were all united. There was a spirit of kindness, of compassion, of empathy. And that is important to remember. That must live on. That must endure. And that is our mission. That is what the Allen, Texas Project really is. It's about remembering our fallen heroes, but also pursuing a better America, where we are united as one people. I'm so grateful to all of you for continuing this mission. It is such an important mission, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it all these years.
Joe, we're so grateful to share your thoughts.
One of the things that I've always been confronted with every time people hear about this project is they want to know, how in the world did Allen, Texas and Linden, New Jersey get together? So I'm just going to take a couple minutes to tell this story. Linda and I were both at a national conference on video conferencing somewhere in the United States. I'm not exactly sure where that conference was. I didn't know Linda at that time. I walked into the lecture hall. There were about 200, 300 people sitting in that lecture hall. And I found a seat, and I sat down. The presenter at that conference said, since this is about video conferencing and you need contacts to video conference with people, grab a business card from the person on your right and the person on your left, person in front of you, person behind you, and you'll have some contacts to take home if you ever want to do some more conferencing. So the young lady sitting on my right handed me her business card. The man in the front and the people in the back handed me their business cards, and that's how it started. I looked at the card that the lady on my right handed me, and it said Linda Snap, Allen, Texas. And I think we might have said a few words, you know, sitting in that lecture. But when it was all over, Linda went her way and I went my way, and we didn't see each other for a couple of years. And that was prior to 2001, maybe 1999 or something. We were pioneers in the realm of video conferencing at that time. So when 9/11 happened, well, we partnered, I think, on one or two minor projects with little kids. And then when 9/11 happened, Linda called me and said, Joe, she says, do you know anyone close to New York City that I could conference with? Because our kids and our whole community is so involved in what's been happening in the Northeast. And I said, hell, Linda, do you know where Linden is? I mean, we are 20 miles from New York City, 10 miles as the crow flies in a straight line. I said, I would love to put something together in video conference, and that was the beginning of our relationship. I got to say, Linda and I have remained friends for 20 years. Over the last 20 years, students and staff from Linden and Allen have jointly participated in countless video conferences, student exchanges, heart-moving learning experiences, whose underlying goal is to keep the memory of 9/11 alive, and to convey to new generations of students an understanding of how that day has changed and continues to change the world that we live in today. Tale of Two Cities has achieved that goal in addition to promoting multicultural diversity, providing an understanding of global issues, breaking down barriers, linking people to people, creating lifelong friendships for students as well as staff, and embracing an appreciation for one's similarities and differences. We all learned about each other's states, cities, schools, and cultures, and Linden students found out on their very first trip to Allen, nobody rides a horse to school, and a few students actually wear cowboy hats and boots. The first video conference in October 2001 was an amazing event. There was no formal agenda. We just let kids talk about what they were thinking and feeling. Issues of patriotism, terrorism, expressing anxiety, fear, and concern, school security, and religious beliefs were discussed in a mature and respectful way. We all knew there was something magical about that first conference, and we needed to do it again, and we have for the last 20 years. Together, using video conferencing technology, we connected Mr. Sam Savage, a Texas car dealer, and his wife to Patty Hargrave. Ironically, Sam had been wearing a bracelet with TJ's name inscribed on it. Together, on our first visit to Ground Zero, students from Texas and Linden hugged and cried as they peered into an empty pit from a platform high above. And together over the years, we've connected with and listened to incredible stories from eyewitnesses to history. Stories of heartbreak, bravery, and strength. Like Patty Hargrave, who's returned a number of times to speak with us about that horrific day in her life. Like the White House Navy chef, who lost a good friend and colleague at the Pentagon while he was sequestered in the bunker below the White House. John Lara once worked in Allen's culinary arts program. Like the FBI agent who detailed the chaos on the morning of 9/11 in the Dallas office of the FBI. And like the stock trader who fled the city that morning only to fear for his life on an overloaded ferry that nearly capsized in the Hudson River. Vowing never to return to the city, he now teaches accounting at Linden High School. Together, administrators, staff, and students from Linden and Allen attended the 10th anniversary at Ground Zero, standing shoulder to shoulder with victims' families, sobbing as their loved ones' names were read. In 2017, the Tale of Two Cities program was recognized by the 9/11 Tribute Center as an outstanding educational program that teaches and keeps the memory of 9/11 alive. Once again, administrators, staff, and students from Linden and Allen proudly accepted the award at Ground Zero ceremony. Over the years, when students visit each other's schools, they enjoy amazing hospitality, a multitude of fun activities, great food, and participation in amazing learning experiences. Experiences that help cultivate friendships and bonds for them and staff that live on forever. Students come to realize that in spite of their differences, they are alike in many ways. Through the Tale of Two Cities project, the memory of those lost on 9/11 will be passed on to future generations of students, and once again understand how that day continues to change our life as we once knew it. I want to just thank everybody at Allen, all of my friends that I've made over the years. We continue, for the students, we continue to stay friends over 20 years, especially J.D. Walker, myself. It's an emotional time. Linda Snap as well. We get choked up when we talk to each other. But we still communicate with each other. We reach out to each other. J.D. and I sometimes call each other long-lost cousins. Sometimes I refer to him as my uncle. But anyway, thank you all so much. It's been an honor to be here. And thank you all, Barb and Bonnie and Matt in the room, Jeff. Some of you I don't see well, but I know you're in the audience. And I want to thank J.D. because when Linda left, I was wondering what was going to happen to the Tale of Two Cities program. And J.D. stepped up, and I'm so glad he did because we've become great friends. Jennifer over there at Allen, thank you so much. And here in Linden, a special thanks to Nicole, Ryan, and Sherry for keeping this going. Thanks all very much. I hope you have a great day.
Well, I don't want to add too much. Thanks, Joe, for making me cry. Now I have to say it. I do want to thank everybody who has supported this project. It started a long time ago between two people who barely knew each other. And when we brought New Jersey and Texas together, we discovered that we're more aligned than we anticipated. And I think that's what stays with me. I want to thank the students for continuing to drive this project. I'm so proud to be part of it. I want to thank good friends like Joe and Bonnie and Barb for working so hard. I want to thank JD and Jennifer and Luann for grabbing onto this project and making it what it is. But it is the students that I think deserve a lot of credit for keeping this meaningful and for continuing the relationship that they have with two different communities, but two very similar communities at the same time. So thank you guys very much for inviting me. I'm always honored to be part of these gatherings. It's good to see everybody, and I hope that you know that if you need any help with anything, I'm always willing to come back and share memories and say hello to old friends. And yeah, Joe and I have we share pictures of grandkids and everything else. You know, those relationships stay strong, and I'm very thankful for that. So thank you to everybody there in Linden. I know that your staff and your students are just as passionate about this project as we are here in Linden, or excuse me, as we are here in Allen. So thank you so much, and Godspeed.
My name is Layla. Thank you to everyone who made it a priority to join us today. On September 11, 2001, the terrorists tried to divide our country, but we are committed to continuing this Tale of Two Cities projects to not only honor those who lost their lives that day, but to continue to strengthen the beautiful relationships between our two schools, cities, and our country. Allen High School, we look forward to seeing you again next month. Have a wonderful week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.